What's going on, guys? It's Greg from ECD. Hope you all had a great weekend. Team ECD was in Ocean City. You can see those videos coming up later this week of vlogging some highlights. Also, we had the MLL playoffs with the championship coming up. So a lot of stuff going on in lacrosse. To add to that, we had the news that the NCAA was working on some rule changes for the upcoming lacrosse season. So just to be very clear, to clarify, what happened was the NCAA Lacrosse Rules Committee made some suggestions for rules. So this doesn't mean that these are actual rules that are going to be happening in the 2019 season yet. They still need to be approved by the NCAA Field Rules Oversight Committee or some other committee. So the Rules Committee suggests all of these things that they want to happen, and they still need approved by an entire separate committee before they become real rules. But let's get into what they're at least recommending right now. So two big ones that everyone was talking about. Number one, the shot clock. Number two, the dive coming back. So let's start with the shot clock. What the rules committee is suggesting is a 20-second window to clear the ball, and then after that a 60-second visible shot clock. So that means 60 seconds to shoot. What resets it is hitting the goalie, a save, or hitting the pipe. So just regular shots will not reset the shot clock. So what you had in 2012 was a move to a discretionary stall warning with a 30-second shot clock for the refs, and this was to help speed the game up a little bit. And at the end of the day, it worked a little bit, but it just left way too much up to the refs' discretion. That meant that, sometimes they would call it, sometimes they wouldn't. Sometimes later in the game, if a team was down, they'd feel more pressure to call it. It just wasn't fair to the refs to put all the pressure to start the shot clock on them, and just led to a lot of inconsistency. So now this time, with this rule suggestion, every single possession will have a 60-second shot clock. And personally, I think it's really good. I think it'll keep the sport moving fast. Make sure offenses aren't stalling. A lot of the coaches wanted to see a 90-second shot clock, but they went down to 60, and so we'll see how that shakes out when it goes to the next rules committee. But there was some worry that defenses would just pack it into a zone and allow for outside shooting. Since there's no rush, they can just sit back and wait in a zone, which is why in the MLL you see a 2-point line. So maybe in the future down the line, we'll even see a 2-point line added to the college game. Next one up is the dive, and this has been a highly controversial topic as well. So basically what the rules committee is suggesting is bringing the dive back. The actual wording in the press release was that the player can dive away from the face of the goal. So the main concern is goalie safety. When you've got players diving around the crease, you worry about them running into the goalie, hitting their knees, and then goalie injuries. So the way the rule is worded is that the player has to be diving away from the mouth of the goal. So that means like upfield as you're coming around the goal, straight across the face of the goal, but never straight at the goal. And they're trying to limit those run-ins with the goalie. And the rules even say that if you dive straight at the mouth of the goal, it's going to be a 1-minute penalty. So I think this is a good idea. They had the same thing happen where they changed the rules a little bit, and they made it so that the player can't leave their feet by their own force. And it just led to a lot of ref calls where they were deciding, were they pushed into the crease? Did they leave their feet? It was just really hard for the refs in real time to see without replay. So now this will make it much clearer. As long as you leave your feet, the ball goes into the net before you land in the crease, it will be a good goal under this rule suggestion. Final two things of note. Number one, they want to move the substitution box from 20 yards back to 10. I don't think this is that big of a deal. But the other thing is for the championship game only, they want to institute a instant replay for buzzer beater shots. So this is also a relatively new rule change. They changed it from the ball has to be across the plane of the goal before the time expires to now, just like basketball, the player only has to release the shot before time expires. So in the championship game, when they've got, it's a full NFL stadium, they've got the replay set up already, they're going to do a replay for buzzer beater shots to see if the ball was released before the timer goes off. And I think that's a good idea. You never like to see a game that is decided by the refs. It's just a tough pressure position for them to be in. So overall, really exciting stuff. We'll have to wait until next month to see if these things are actually passed into rules for the 2019 season. But sound off in the comments what you think about the shot clock, about the dive coming back. I think it'll all be very interesting. But at the end of the day, I hope it shakes out to just keeping lacrosse exciting for fans, players, and people to watch. So thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to like if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't, and have a great day.